So we're starting to get some attendees. Here we go. Hello, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's program of Delivering Digitally. We're currently experiencing some technical difficulties, so please bear with us as we try to get our presentation up and running. In the meantime, for those of you who are already logged on, just a couple of housekeeping reminders. If you have any questions for Chris, which this is an open forum, so we hope that you do come with questions, please place them in the Q&A so that way we can make sure that we answer them and keep track of all your questions. If you have any comments or tips that you'd like to share with your peers, please use the chat box so that way you guys can learn from one another. Again, we apologize. We are experiencing some technical difficulties with the presentation. So bear with us a few moments as we try to pull up that presentation. All right, Kristen, how are you doing with the presentation? You doing okay? Okay, cool.
Perfect. Yeah, can you guys hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Oh, I don't know what's going on here. A little excitement there.
And it looks like you have your other desktop on share screen rather than the presentation.
Let's try one more time here. How's that? Are we up? And
yes.
Let me start the presentation now, and it doesn't seem to want to click up. So
there we go. And then if you just want to swap the display settings, because we are currently seeing your presenter view.
And it's not letting us go. So interesting. Sorry, folks. Give me one more shot here.
And again, if you're just joining us, I saw a few people just joined us. A couple of housekeeping reminders. If you have any questions for Chris as he talks about Google My Business today, please feel free to put that in the chat box, or the Q&A box, sorry. The chat box is used for any comments or maybe some best practice that you'd like to share with your peers. The Q&A box will help us to keep track of all of your questions. So please use the Q&A for any questions that you have today. Oh, and Chris just disappeared. Hopefully he comes back on soon. Let me try to pull up the PowerPoint on my end for Chris. So hopefully when he comes back on, it will be available. All right, Chris, I'm going to just go ahead and share it on my end.
Okay.
So if you want to go ahead and let's see, get started. Let us know.
Okay, yeah. Well, again, everybody, I apologize for the technical difficulties and welcome to our third part in our roundtable for Delivering Digital, where there is so much to know out there. And, you know, this is a series where we are going to continue to talk about the different tools that are out there, implementing those tools, as well as tracking the results within your areas of utilizing tools for your digital marketing needs. If you go next slide. I'm Christopher Phil. I am a business analyst with the Maricopa County SBDC. I come with 18 years of entrepreneurship. We had a startup and growth business, as well as 10 of those years being in the digital marketing field. So welcome. A few of the services that we offer here at the SBDC. Obviously, we have 17 counselors on staff with an array of skills and expertise here for your service, as well as 10 SBDC centers in Arizona. Our counseling sessions are always no fee, at zero cost to you as the business owner, and we offer a ton of resources. So again, welcome. Here today, we're going to talk about Google My Business, Google My Business listing. I like to call it, as well as other marketers in the business, the Google Snack Pack listing. And we'll get a little bit more into that. But first, I want to take a little poll. And the poll is basically, I'm interested in knowing in the audience who today has a Google My Business listing online, and is it being managed? I guess it's a two-part question, but we're gonna have a yes, no, and maybe so or don't know, but we'll go ahead and launch that poll now.
Yes, give me a second, Chris, while I try and pull that up. It's a little harder to do when you're screen sharing. 1 second. Let's see. There we go. Should be good to go now. So we'll allow a few seconds for everyone to answer that question. And then I will share the results since we have a majority of people who have answered. All right, a couple more seconds. Looks like about half of you all have had a chance to answer here. So we want to make sure Chris has enough time since we had some difficulty. So I'm going to go ahead and close the poll now and share those results with you, Chris.
Okay, great. Looks like not a lot of people do have a listing, or maybe they're not currently managing it. So perfect. Okay, well, let's go into that a little bit. So next slide, we'll get into a fun fact, right? Complete and accurate Google My Business listing gets 7 times more clicks than those missing information, and or 70% more likely to attract location visits. Here's a neat little source that I pulled out, is 500% increase in near me mobile searches. So I don't know if you catch yourself, I know I catch myself and others around saying maybe a pizza store near me. Where can I buy this specific maybe razor, right? And now it's becoming more from keyword relevancy to phrase match relevancy, where we're now speaking to Google and asking for Google to deliver us back such. Now they do that with more than 100, like again, more than 150% growth in mobile searches is from near me now, food near me. Go ahead and do a search. I was messing around with it the other day, is out car buying near me with delivery available, and Carvana's all over that. So, you know, there's a lot of voice search going on in areas of markup in the back of the codes of websites, and other areas where Google's reading through their algorithms to deliver you and I search relevancy. So again, you know, the last part of the infographic there, more than 900% growth in mobile searches. You know, I see more and more analytics campaigns as I look at them. That's the metrics that look through your website and the visitors, as well as in actual Google My Business, which we'll get to in a few more slides here. The insights of how these people are coming to your either website, maybe your local listing online, maybe a citation that was put out there, which we'll discuss. A lot of it's being done through the mobile device. It's more and more, we're seeing more and more less searching being done on the desktop and more of the on-the-go mobile phone. So next slide. Google My Business, what, why, who? Well, it's pretty simple, right? Google My Business, it's a free listing online. Again, the snack pack, right? The one where the stars lay, the one where people can click and get directions on how do they get to your location, or maybe you're a person trying to get to a location. You know, it's funny, the reason they call it the snack pack is, I'll tell you a little history, is, you know, prior 2015, you would do a Google search and you would see 10 different locations pop up in that area, right? So Google gave you a more, a variety of people maybe near you or around you or within miles of you that was relevant to your search topic. 2015, they came down to 7 people or 7 businesses. I apologize. And now here recently, they made a change within the last year or two, and now they give us 3. Okay, so 3, and now it's cloned, it's named the snack pack, right? And if you can rank and get into that area on a search term, then you're a snack, right? Because it's not easy to do like it was prior 2015. Who should use it? Any business with a physical location. I even say if you have a house as a location, if you don't want people coming to your home and you're a mobile service, get a listing. But then in Google My Business, you are able to hide the address and say that you offer your services remotely to the customer out in the field, not inside in an office or at a location. So you regularly update this information. Also understand how to use the many tools within the Google My Business location, which I'm going to go into a live showing, technology permitting, that it will let me flip into that. And then also, why is it so important? Well, I mean, simple, right? To get customers. I mean, why are we in business? We're in business to get customers. It's a tool, a digital tool that we use in the 2021, here we are, year, to market our customers, and it's absolutely free. It just takes a little time, a little elbow grease, a little thought, and you get it set up, get it verified, and you're off and going. That's where everything is housed, per se. Next.
I do have a question, Chris, from Stephanie. She would like to know, how can you leverage Google My Business for an online or remote-based business?
So an online or remote-based business, well, I mean, here's the thing, and we'll get into the tools here in a bit inside the Google My Business. Where are you shipping out of, right? Are you doing a FBA model, which is a fulfillment by Amazon, where Amazon's holding your product and they're shipping it for you? Are you holding it at your own maybe residence, or maybe an office within industrial park, right? Those are all location based. So if you can receive a postcard in regards to verifying that you are whom you are, then you should be able to get a Google My Business location. Now they've have entered into being able to do product placement within inside the Google My Business. So it's great for e-com businesses where you can link out to your e-commerce site. We'll get into that in a couple slides. Here we go. We're going to try to see if we can get you guys up and going here. So I'm going to try to share my screen.
Let me stop sharing here, Chris.
Okay.
All right, go ahead and try.
Okay, and let me try to go into here. This is a company. They allowed us to come in and look at their listing. I know them pretty well, and they went ahead and volunteered us to go ahead and show them their inside of their Google My Business. Here, I want to note that this is the dashboard of the Google My Business. Here it gives you kind of a snapshot. If you haven't been in here, kind of what's going on with your local listing, where you can click to post, in an area. You can create an ad if you want to do that, as well as maybe if you're, want to look at your stats in regards to, how we're doing on performance. Okay. And then even in there, we can see at a quick glance, what in each of these categories has been delivering us the, some good numbers. Is it the post that we did on search? Is it, how's my activity coming off in regards to the areas? But as you want to do, you can go in and you can go into each one of these individually, and that's where you kind of want to keep everything as far as your information up to speed. So in your posting areas, this is where, you know, you can add an offer, right? And I think that's a question we just had a bit ago, where you can list an e-commerce item that you maybe have, and you know, it will obviously allow you to do you know, backlink over to your site. Let me move this out of the way. As well as you can go into adding updates, adding an event. Again, here's adding the products of your e-com and linking back over to it. There's many areas within the posting area of Google My Business that will allow you to do those things. Now, inside of here is, you know, obviously your business information. What areas do you service? Again, if you're, you know, if you're e-commerce, you know, and you're delivering services everywhere, I mean, you're opening that area to probably all of Arizona, or possibly it's just a USA marker, right? Also, you know, what are your hours of operation currently? You know, what are your additional hours? And this is all important when it comes to voice search relevancy, which that's where we're going. You know, I mean, if you have here that you're open Sunday through Saturday, but it's Christmas time and it's not in your special hours, well, then, you know, they're giving the customer information that you're open, which in fact you're not, and that's just a bad experience. There's been a couple of polls, you know, or surveys, I'm sorry, taken with consumers over the years, that, you know, when it comes to digital, that if you, you know, 7 out of 10 people that have landed on your website or have maybe gotten fed you know, let's say this, where they're looking for somebody that's open and you get served and you're actually not, they're 7 to 10 times more in an area not to come back to your business or your website due to, you know, they didn't get what they were searching for. Okay. Again, all these areas are super important as far as your business profile, of having it up to date and on point. Appointment links, you know, menu links if you're a restaurant, product links. Here we are again. That's super important with our question that we just had, as well as, you know, the services of you know, maybe you're a service business like carpet cleaning, and again, we'll get into those slides. Which I love here is the next thing, which I think everybody should be paying attention to, is the metrics, right? Your analytics. How are people coming to me, right? And this is in a month period of time. Is it, you know, discovery through a search? Is it direct because they just know me, right? You know, is it, you know, what does it look like as far as my customers? Is it from my listing on search? Is it on my maps? This will tell me how is it that I'm doing in those categories, and what maybe I need to work on in those areas, which there's many ways to improve. Your customers' actions, right? How many people got directed to the website? How many people called me? So these are just all really good metrics that if I'm paying attention to it within my area, in my Google My Business, then I understand kind of you know, how to go about you know, continuing my marketing efforts, right? Photos are super important. People, we shop by image. You know, videos are the #1 thing to convert now, as far as, you know, advertising through social media channels and online. You know, photos and how they're marked up correctly, which, you know, we're going to do a series most likely down the road here on, is geotagging. If you haven't heard of that, you need to look into it. It's very important when you geotag your image and then you upload it to your Google My Business. It gives it search, locality, relevancy. It's good. So I'd love to answer any questions that maybe anybody has on that. Also, going in here, there's areas where, it will show you keywords that are being used and what keywords are being used. So, insights, great area, really need to hang out in there, and it's really good stuff. Reviews, right? Not going too much into all these because I know we only have so much time and I want to get to some Q&A, but the reviews, how are they responded to, right? Are we responding accordingly, right? I mean, so or are we not responding at all? It's very simple. So there's a lot of other areas in here. Messaging is a new feature with inside Google My Business that has came live. But I'll tell you what, if you turn it on within your location, more and more people want to message. They don't want to pick up the phone. They rather talk over text. It's this thing that's going on, right? So, but if you don't respond within 24 hours, Google shuts it off. I mean, you only get so many times to turn it back on and off. It's kind of a beta thing currently. Photos, okay, within your Google My Business is super important. Google wants to know, do they have a cover image? What's the logo? They have an area where people at work, projects that have been done. They want you to kind of go through their guidelines, and that will give you rankings within the image category of Google, which then links back to your site. If you have these same images hosted on your site, which you should, because you want to link them to your Google My Business and as well as your site. One last thing, and we'll go on with the slides, that's super important is the website. A lot of people inside, that we talk with, they need a website, they don't have a website, their website's not that great, whatever. Well, here you go. Google gives you a free website within your Google My Business. You add your photos, you edit your content. Let's look at it, how it looks online. So somebody came across it, here's your website pre-populated by your Google My Business listing. In here, which is real important, they allow you to link, areas inside of your content back to your site. To me, that's huge. It's powerful. You can create link building on your own. So again, that is an interesting area, and it's very important if I can get this to clear here, of how to create on-page and off-page SEO within your Google My Business. So that's kind of a live dashboard look of it. There's many more things to go over with it. We're limited on time, but I want to get back to the slides. So I'm going to stop sharing. And Laura, I can let you get back on if you can bring that slide deck back online.
Yeah, but first, really quick, we did have a question
Sure.
from Cara. I don't know, Cara, if you can expand on this. She just asked, what about Geo?
Geo, if she can go into that a little bit further, as far as Geo, what are we referencing?
Right. It's unclear at this time. So Cara, hopefully, if you're listening, please expand on that a little bit more, because Chris would love to help you out there. Let me go ahead and share the screen. Let's see here. There we go.
Okay, there we go to the next slide. Geotag, I see, Connie. Connie, geotagging is just very unique to ranking video and still images. There's many free tools out there for geotagging your photos and videos, but what it does is it plants a latitude longitude in the back end of the profile of the actual image or video file itself. Also with that, you're able to mark up certain areas within URL bases and links within the back end of those files as well. So when you shoot that into Google or your Google My Business listing, or maybe you post it on a website, or you're getting ready to, throw it on a piece of content like a blog, Google comes through and it crawls that piece of content, it indexes it on the web, it picks up on the back end profile of the image that it has a latitude longitude, let's say Tempe, and then a searcher, say that that offers carpet cleaning in Tempe that took a picture of a job of some carpets that he just got done in Tempe, and it was indexed in Tempe. Somebody's saying carpet cleaning in Tempe. Now the content's being relevant. Now it's being delivered. So geotagging is super important when it comes to image files. Here we have a comparison. We have a low quality listing comparison and a better quality listing comparison. Obviously, the one to the left, we don't need to reference too much. Obviously, there's not a whole lot there. We're missing business hours. We're missing a website. And again, geez, look at, Google My Business. We have free websites in there. I just showed you that. So here we have a lot of areas that, we have two images. We have the first images is actually the Google image because there's no suite number, which makes me kind of weary if this is even a real location of this company, Mariclean. It's showing a Massage Envy. Okay. Now over to the right, we have a better quality listing, right? We have a website, we have reviews, we have interaction, we have engagement, we have, Q&As. They have Q&As loaded in there where you can ask, and they already have some areas. We have an appointment calendar where you can possibly make an appointment. There's a little bit of flair up in the top right that shows you that they're a green company. Their content on their image files have alt text on the image text on the body of the pictures, which I'm probably pretty sure, I haven't done a search on these guys, but they probably have some geotagging going on. A little bit better quality listing. I can't dig into it much deep, but obviously they're going to rank before the other. Next slide. Obviously implementation tips. It took this right from Google 1 through 7 on your computer. Sign into your Google My Business. Google My Business. It will pop up. Sign into your Google account, create one, enter your business or chain address. Choose your business with display on Google Maps. Search and first select a business category. Enter a phone number or website URL. Select a verification option, which usually is a postcard to the location, and you'll get that usually 2 to 3 weeks. But again, important, make sure all this is accurate before you submit. In the real life, we don't change our names, and Google expects you to not do the same with your business. They don't want you to be Frank's Carpet Cleaning and then John's and then just Carpet Cleaning Tempe. Those put you in areas of approval. Every time you make a change to your Google My Business, it goes into a review process. They look at it, they review it, they figure if it's relevant or not, and then they go ahead and publish the content. Now, if you're doing that enough, it could cause a suspension of your listing. We don't want that happening. The next slide.
And Chris, I know that we started a little late due to time, but I just wanted to let you know we got about 3 more minutes.
Okay, I'll run through this quick. I think I only got a couple more slides. Obviously, what to track in the Google My Business. One, quick, number one to me, insight reports. I want to see where it's coming from, what's going on, and that as well as how I can improve, right? Reviews, how do I respond, negative or positive? How am I staying engaged? Because remember, the other people that come to your site before they use your service, or maybe even after they use your service, and they go to do a review, they might be reading those reviews. They want to see what you're responding and how you're responding. Messaging 24 hours gets turned off. You turn it on, stay engaged. Next slide. On-page SEO versus off-page SEO. So we don't want to go too much into this because I know we only got a few more minutes, but on-page, obviously, we're in the website builder. We're building links within the bodies of the content. We're delivering that out to our main site, which is the website we have, using keyword optimization. Image files, again, there it is, Connie, with our markup in the back in the geotagging, the latitude, longitude, and other areas. Our off-page being link building. And I'm just going to go on the next slide because it's super more important, and I'll talk about off-page in there. Here is super important. So we have our Google My Business listing, right? We have everything in there. Everything's filled out. Everything's completed. It's looking really nice. Now we got to go rinse and repeat, right? Citations. So there are hundreds of citations out there. Other citation being other platforms that want to hold your data of your location. Now, the more we get it out there on all these other areas of citations, and they all kind of link back to each other. Now we're creating an ecosystem, right? We have an ecosystem. Google has a searcher has a need. They reach out, they see who dominates or at least is, fulfilling the ecosystem. They deliver that piece of content, and hopefully that's you. Next slide. Obviously your to-do list, check your Google listing for accuracy and completion in time. Contact information, hours, operations, always changing, make sure it's up to date. Google website is active. Consistently staying on top of your reviews and everything else. And your messaging, like I said, 24 hours, promptly responding. Right now with COVID, super important, let people know how you're doing and why they should use you during these times. Schedule a regular time to review it, super important.
We did have a couple questions, Chris, right before we end. Cara wants to know, how do you add the Q&A?
Within the body of within the admin part of the Google My Business, there's an area that asks you for Q&A. You just go through it, it's within the text, and it will go through exactly, question, versus answer, question versus answer within the actual admin portion. If you want to go further, please sign up for counseling. I'd be more than happy to work with you and kind of walk you through that.
Perfect. And then Connie would like to know, is there any certain number of photos that you would recommend?
Certain number of photos that you would recommend within your Google My Business? No, I'd say as many as you can, but mark them all up. I mean, we need to, just don't snap. Well, I mean, no, I disagree. If you're snapping from your cell phone, they're already marked up latitude, longitude. Our phones are good at already picking up, geotagging, right? And it's already tagging the image file in the back end. But if you're taking it with a certain camera and you're doing that, make sure you're geotagging, make sure you're marking up the general profile in the back end of the properties. Again, please come in, get counseling. I'd love to sit down and go over further with you on that, but then upload. But yeah, as many as you can, but keep them relevant to what it is that you're indexing them within your profile.
All right, so those are pretty much all the questions we have. Cara, it sounds like you're having some trouble finding the Q&A. As Chris said, please feel free to sign up for some counseling. He's here to help you with that for sure. That way you can get that one-on-one help, especially when it comes to setting up your Google My Business. Doesn't look like there's any other questions currently. Okay. Yes, and let's see, Stephanie submitted a question. You can, normally when I'm not the one sharing the screen, I'll put links in. If you go to our website, www.maricopa-sbdc.com, there is a great, area for you to look at our upcoming webinars. So Stephanie, perhaps the business payroll webinar might be good for you because it looks like you're interested in QuickBooks. And Cara, if you also go to our website, there is a tab there to request counseling right there on our website. All right.
Is there any other Q&As? Okay, so SBD counseling experience, kind of a little bit how it works. You complete a request counseling at MaricopaCountySBDC.com. We have an initial session to kind of get to know you, do a little bit of follow-up, and then go from there. Track the business goals and see what we can do about assisting you in growth. So counseling is by appointment only. Again, doesn't cost anything. We're here for you, and there's no fee involved.
And also, it looks like we did get another question. If you already have an SBDC counselor, please feel free to just send them an email and just reintroduce yourself to your counselor. Maybe it's been a while since you've talked to them, and definitely you can do it. If DC counselor and it's not Chris can definitely join your counselor with that as well. So do a co-counsel session.
Laura, I went ahead and put those links in the chat for you.
Oh, great. Thank you, Donna. So again, those links are located in the chat if you have any questions about where to find our upcoming events and or request for counseling.
Perfect. Also, we also offer technical assistance in many areas listed here from the top to the bottom, disaster loan assistance to government contracting. So again, MaricopaCountySBDC.com. Again, counseling is always no fee. So Here are some of the tools that we offer with our counseling. Growth Wheel, which is an amazing tool to help you kind of build out your business plan and really just get the mind cranking in areas that you probably didn't even know you can crank, to be honest. And then as IBIS World, where we can pull real live data, statistical forecast into the future, into the past of your industry or what industry maybe you're trying to go into, and it will help you be just a little bit more excited. I get excited when I research in there, and you will as well. So
these are all at no cost to you if you sign up for SBDC counseling.
correct.
All right.
A couple of other, webinars coming up. The digital marketing session I got one coming up in April with a colleague of ours, Anna. She is presenting a restaurant series of digital marketing within your restaurant and how it applies. And I'm going to talk a lot about Google My Business. I'm probably going to be a little bit more prepared because I'll have more time and my technology won't go crazy. Because it's very important to that industry, as well as, small business payroll and buying a business with Nancy Hahn here at our establishment. So please stay tuned. Come to SBDC/events. Follow us on social media. We're really trying hard to get that going and cranking. LinkedIn, Facebook, you name it, Instagram, we're there. Follow us, and all these webinars are posted. Last but not least, well, I guess it's not exactly last, but Maricopa County SBDC COVID-19 resource for everything at your needs. We're following the PPP craze and the idols. If you need assistance, you're looking at that. We'd love to sit down and help you out and keep you up to date on what's going on. Training events and calendars. Our counselor bios are on our website, Maricopa County SBDC, so you can kind of know, who to send your inquiry to. Follow the SBDC again on the social links, and we'll try to keep you up to date.
All
that
right.
concludes. Yeah. Go ahead. I'll let you go on this one, Laura.
Yeah, all right. Sounds good. So as you exit out of this webinar, there will be a survey for you to complete. Please complete that, as we are trying to make these webinars as valuable for you as possible. We definitely use your feedback and try to incorporate them into our future events. So again, thank you, Chris. I also thank you all for your patience as we experience technical difficulties, and thank you for hanging in there. I know we went a few minutes over, so thank you again, Chris. And I hope you all have a great evening or afternoon. And Chris, we'll see you at our next webinar.
Thank you, guys. Enjoy.